All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, says YouTube. This is Pastor Dow. I want to sincerely talk to everyone out there this morning, those who have the ears to hear. And you have to understand, and I really, truly am trying my best to do my part to reach as many people as I can in the midst of this wicked and perverse generation. I live way out in the country and I see things from a total different perspective and point of view than most people do. And we are wondering why the generations that we're looking at is continually keep getting worse and worse. Well, the answer to that is when you have a generation that had poor role models and poor mentors sitting in front of them, then this generation one day is going to be in a position to where they are going to be the ones who allegedly are so-called teaching someone behind them. And if they receive poor instruction, only thing they're going to be able to give out is poor instruction as well. And I see the racism that the powers that be is doing, especially using the mainstream news media. I also see the death of the mainstream news media as people are not buying into their crap and their reverse psychology and garbage anymore. But I want to talk to black men today. All right, I really truly do. I'm going to talk to black men and young black men today. I want them to be able to see something that people would not otherwise present to them. Okay. The other day, I think I cut on a YouTube video and I watched a portion of the first 10 selections of the NFL draft, okay? And then later on, I got an opportunity to see just a little bit more. Now, you may be looking at it because you want to know who's going to get drafted to your favorite team. I'm looking at things from a total different perspective and point of view because when I was looking at it, I'm looking at it from a mentor perspective and point of view. And I cannot tell you how many times that I see, and I want y'all to listen to me very closely, okay? Because you're going to have these ignorant ass people out there that are not going to like my comments, but it's still not going to change everything that's going on in the world today because they refuse to see it. I was fortunate enough to have a father in the house when I was growing up, my father. I'm a father myself. And I've invested a lot of time into my son, as well as the children in the assembly, young men. And I want to make this statement right here. And I want y'all to listen to me. And maybe when I make this statement, coming from this perspective and point of view, you'll be able to see and understand where I'm coming from. Because if you listen to one of my videos, you may get highly upset hearing one of my videos because you may tout or think that I'm some type of racist or something like that. When I'm not the one that started racism in this country, all I do is deal with facts. Now, women do a good job of raising babies to children. Did you hear what I said? Women do a good job of raising babies to children. They do an excellent job at that, most of them who are caring mothers. But a woman cannot raise a man. He cannot take a young boy, a teenage boy, and help him to make the transition from boys to men. It takes a man to do that. And I said all that to say this. Year after year after year after year, all right? I look at different sports programs because, the majority of the black people today, unless you can chase after a ball or master something that has to do with chasing around a ball, you pretty much are not going to make it in this world out here today. And even at that, very few of our population is able to even do that, much less today, because the income disparity between whites and blacks given the same job, and it's great, it's vast, and you can say whatever you want to say and be whatever you want to be on. That makes no difference, but the facts remain. But women do a good job of raising babies to children, but it takes a man to take a boy to a man. And we're lacking role models in this society. Now, I'm getting to this right here. In this society and in this time that we're living in, I cannot tell you how many young black athletes that make it to the professional level. And the first thing that I see them doing is giving all the credit of their upbringing, all the credit to everything they ever done in their lives to their mamas or their grandmamas. Mama and grandmama, mama and grandmama, mama and grandmama. Well, that is true, taking you from a baby to a child. But when you become a teenager and you are transitioning from a boy to man, why is it that you hardly ever hear anybody ever talking about these mentors that was in their lives, such as these coaches who spent a lot of time with them in school and on the practice field and stuff, trying to keep these young men out of trouble and stuff? Because in the black community, there's just simply not enough black role models. There's simply just not enough black leaders, period. They're not, because the majority of them, all they care about is playing video games, sitting on their ass, collecting government checks, being lazy as hell, or having somebody else go make a living for them. They don't care nothing about being a mentor. And I have very few men in my generation that actually can sow some wisdom and knowledge and understanding into the generation coming after them. And I'm continually watching the destruction of society, just like you are, right in front of us. I'm seeing people just simply not interested in education. They're simply not interested in being able to be producers, but they want to be takers. Most people have this welfare mentality. They don't want to spend the time, money, or the effort to actually educate themselves, to get out here and do something, to read, to write, to understand. They just don't want to do it. But it takes mentors or a man to take a boy to a man. And I see these black athletes parading out in front of them. Mama, grandmama, and all this other stuff. Mama and grandmama did a good job of bringing you from a baby to a child. But mama and grandmama did not have any influence on you being a young man that you are today. Those were those mentors. And it's a damn shame today, because of racism that is going on in this society, perpetuated by mainstream news media, that when you look at Division 1A football, you have a couple of black guys that are now becoming head coaches of Division 1A programs. And there's a lot of assistant coaches. But it was these assistant coaches, it was these coaches in these sports programs in Division 1A that made these teenagers to the young men that they are today. These are the ones who mentored them. And most of you haven't never played in a discipline or never been in any part of a discipline. If you ever been in any part of a discipline, you know that there's a difference in the quality of men as opposed to those who don't have any. For instance, if a man is going to go out and start his own business, man, you know that man is pretty disciplined, because he's getting ready to enter into a job to where there's feast or famine. So he's motivated. He's self-motivated to accomplish and to get things going forth in his life. And he has become self-disciplined to be able to understand what life is all about. And usually the people that own businesses usually work 3 times as hard as those who they are employing to help them in the business. But when you're dealing with sports figures today, it just aches my heart to see all the black men today not giving these white coaches credit for mentoring them from the time that they were teenagers all the way up until they get into the professional sports. Because these are the men that actually help shape them and mold them to what they are today. Mama didn't make you a man. Grandmama didn't make you a man. Mama and grandmama may have been there. You may have drawn milk from her breast from mama. Grandmama may have been there because there was no man in mama's life, because she probably chased them out by running her damn mouth all over the place. But the truth is, it takes a man to raise a young man. It takes a man to raise a teenage boy. And that's just simply not enough credit given to these mentors, to these coaches. And that's the reason why a lot of men love the Straightway Truth Ministry, because they see men here willing to mentor the young men. They see men who are men of their words and men of action, and not men just sitting on their asses telling people what to do while there's nothing you can look at to show that these people actually believe what they say, because they don't practice what they preach. We practice what we preach. And I think that this is the biggest problem that we have in today. So my job and my aim is to take men. This is what it is, to take young men, make them men, so that they can lead qualities quality families and qualities of life. So therefore, when they have their children, they would know how to be a man, not just somebody sitting up in the house and stuff. There's very few fathers today that actually spend time with their sons, educating them, because the majority of people in this society today don't have fathers. So therefore, these young and teenage boys, if they are young men, they're going to find somebody to gravitate to that will teach them how life is. They're going to find somebody to gravitate to that will show them how to be a man, and those people will be fathers figures to them. And these young men today won't give a damn about the man that gave seed to the woman that was their father biologically but couldn't father them in life, because these men today are pieces of shit. And these young men are understanding that. They understand that they're not getting their understanding and being shaped and molded today just because a man sticks a seed into a woman and a baby comes out. They understand that a father is the one who spends times with you. A father is the one who's willing to educate you. A father is one who is there to correct you. A father is one who providing a roof over your head, clothes on your back, and shoes on your feet. So a lot of these coaches today have been fathers figures to all these homes that don't have any fathers at all. And of course, it's hard for women to keep fathers today because they run their damn mouth so much that who in the hell, what man in his right mind want to stay around and listen to all that damn lip all day long? A lot of men are saying, to hell with this. I was already in slavery and chains and stuff, but I be damned in this modern day times right here where affirmative action and all these other different programs that come forth, and I'm going to sit up here and live on a damn plantation inside of a house where a woman is going to run her mouth and scream and holler and dictate and mandate and try to tell me what to do, when the only thing she could do is raise a baby from a baby to a child, but she has no input whatsoever at all to teach a young man how to be a man. So the men today are being castrated by the feminist movement. Men are opting out because of the effeminate and sensitive generation that we're living in today. But I hope that some way, somehow, that y'all beginning to see this thing for what it really truly is, and not be deceived by these people who are there to fleece your mind and your conscience, to try to get you to think other and opposite of what's really truly going on. Somebody has got to be able to teach you how to read between the lines, and somebody's got to teach you the right way. And I'm telling you, I'm getting ready to go out here in the garden this morning. It's about 85 degrees outside. It's hot. Me and Elias getting ready to go out and do some more raised beds. We're going to be out here to high noon because it's going to be extremely hot, but it's got to get done. But he's learning, and he's going to continue to keep learning a lot. At least one thing about it, he has a positive mentor in front of him that is an actual father figure and not just some man laying up making babies and stuff and then shirking his responsibilities. I tell you, men like me today, men like I know in the ministry, we're a dying breed. If you're a young man, you understand what I'm saying. You understand it's for you. Maybe some of you women can get holy and stuff and start supporting a man that is really truly a man of y'all in action. But, I tell you, I think that there should be a whole lot more credit given to these coaches that spend the majority of the time, even though that they're there for sports and everything else, they're helping shaping these young teenage boys into men. And now in the NFL, the biggest problem we got is that once these men start making a lot of money because they see all these sorry-ass rap videos, and the next thing you do, the only ambition they got is being a bunch of damn gangsters from the rest of these people who got set up by the powers that be in order to keep my people down and to keep them in an illiterate, dumb, stupid, ignorant state. They give them ambitions of going around calling women all kind of bitches and hoes and everything else, and thinking that videos and flaunting money is the substance of life. It's a sad situation. It's a sad, sad situation. But the problem that I'm having today, and it's in my mind, is that once these young men start making all this money, they're going to become just as foolish because they don't know how to manage the money, and they're going to trust in the very system that got them there to help them manage the money. And that's the reason why you see a lot of professional football players today broke, bankrupt. Look at Vince Young. Look at a lot of these. Look at Allen Iverson. Look at all these people today. It's just a sad, sad situation. They made a lot of money, and nobody taught them about finances. Nobody taught them how to do it. And of course, they can't trust a black man like me that's living a simple life, because that black man, after their mindset, didn't get them there because they didn't choose to follow up under the mentorship program, but they choose to look at these damn rap videos that these people are going to help you waste your substance and not really put any true substance in you. Some of you understand what I'm saying. But anyway, hey, I got to get to work. It's hot. Elias about to die over here holding his camera. All right, y'all have a good day. Shalom.